Hey, what's up? I'm CleoSim, and I'm going to do a little tutorial about how to populate your town. Okay, so we've been playing the Sims 3 Not So Berry Challenge, and we got 4 episodes in, and it's like it is really empty. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with NRAAS mods. If you are, this tutorial is going to make total sense. If you're not, I'll try to make it make sense. NRAAS has this really cool feature called Story Progression. And when you enable it, it turns off EA Story Progression. And it allows the NPCs and other Sims that are in your world to have lives. EA Story Progression doesn't really do that unless there's Sims that are already in. Now, NRAAS will start to populate a little bit. But like I said, we've been playing this for a little while and there's not that many people. In fact, Sophia lost her boss and it was like, that's weird, okay? So, what I'm going to do about it is I'm going to populate this huge world of Westerberg with just a few amount of people. You don't need to go overboard because you do have the story progression on. So let's pop over to the website where you can get NRAAS mods, and there's going to be a link in the description. So we're just going to pop over there real quick. Okay, so here is the page where it talks about population town management. Now, if you go down here, you'll see the mods are here and story progression is right there. You click on that. You go on, you install it. That's not what this video is about. There are videos on that though, if you don't know how to install NRAAS mods. And you put it in your game. And when you go to your town, it's going to ask you right in the beginning, do you want to enable story progression? And if you say yes, it's going to say, okay, we disabled EA story progression, and now this is what's going to be working for us. So I found this and I thought it was really helpful. I followed it, and so that's what I'm going to do for the tutorial. That way I don't sound like, I don't know what I'm talking about. So it says story progression gauge value, immigration gauge, and then it tells you from City Hall or from a computer access. Now you can use the sim, but I think this works better on the town. So it says when you go into it, set the gauge to a really large number, say 1,000. In a little while you receive a notice from the town council showing how much pressure built up in your town over the past cycle. If you want immigration to occur, set the gauge lower than that number. So we're just going to go through that part right now. So I'll see you back in Westerberg. All right. So we're going to leave here. And here's City Hall. It says she doesn't have a computer. And we're going to go into NRAAS. And here's all the mods that I'm using. And Error Trap I'm also using, but it's not listed here. It's another important mod you need. Story Progression, Error Trap, and Master Controller. Pretty important. You can probably live without everything else. So we're going to go into Story Progression, General Options, Options Lots, and Options Immigration, which I know sounds confusing, but the first one is bringing people to your town, and this one is kicking people out. So you're going to click that, and it says Immigration Gauge. So it told us to set it to 1,000, and I guess we're just supposed to let it go for a while. These are some other options, like I'm always changing whatever the names are of people, because when they come into your town, you have people like, let's say the Goths and the Steels in Sunset Valley decided to marry, and it's Mortimer Goth. No, it would be, what is it? Oh, we'll just use Bella. She's really a bachelor, in this version, but we'll just say Bella Goth marries Christopher Steele. So the way the name shows up, it's Goth-Steele. That annoys me, so I don't do that. So we're not going to really set anything else. It says random immigration pressure, but it didn't tell us anything about that. So I don't know how long that's going to take to get going, but I will be back and tell you how long that took. Okay, so we finally got that notice. It says Town Council has updated their immigration survey. Sims 20 points, final tally 20 points. The council requires more than 1,000 points before allowing new members in the community. And so if you'll remember, here, let me hop over there real quick. It said, in a little while you receive a notice from the town council showing how much pressure built up in your town over the past cycle. If you want immigration to occur, set the gauge lower than that number. So if we set it to like 100, you know, I guess it, you know, we wouldn't be waiting as long. So it says, what if I want to fill up my town right now? First, with the game pause, set the immigration gauge to a non-zero value. Doing so will unlock the Lots Rapid Immigration option. Follow the steps below for rapid immigration. So you go in there and set it to something higher than 0, and then enter the number of households you want brought in right away. After you unpause the game, the mod will proceed to immigrate a new family every 10 sim minutes up to the number you specified. If you do not want more sims immigrating, set the immigration gauge back to the value you originally set. So we're gonna have to go in, and it says the immigration gauge can be set to anything higher than 0. So I don't know what I'm gonna say for that, but I'm gonna say for how many. It says households, not sims. So for the families, I'm gonna put 20 and see what happens. So back to the, and you can click on the sim, but apparently you get more options over here if you use the computer. So we will go to story progression, general options, lots, immigration. And so we have it set to 1,000. So we'll set it to, I don't know, 50. How's that? Most recent pressure is 20. So we have to set it lower than that. So we'll set it to 18. So it does pay attention to what you've been doing. So I have to set it to 18. Now I know that. And right here is the rapid immigration. So I'm going to set it to 25. Now it says we're supposed to get 25 families every 10 sim minutes. So let's see how that works out. And we can stay over here to kind of keep an eye on it, because what I experienced when it comes time to immigrate, the game slows down, it gets all laggy, and it freezes. I don't know if it's going to do that this time, because I'm actually following the rules. But it said after we unpause, it's going to start working on this. And generally, because it's doing that, the game doesn't go as fast. We'll see. I guess she was. Yes. It seems to be working pretty good. It says, taking advantage of the town's open door policy on immigration, Jenny Florence has moved into town. So we're already getting people moving in. So what is it now? 6:36. I'm not quite sure when that came in. But see, I can't click off of this, and that's because immigration is running and it slows down your game because there's something else important going on. There we go. And so Jenny moved in, and now she's going to work with Sophia here at the science facility. So story progression is already working. It moved somebody in and it gave them a job. So it is 7 in the morning. I'm going to go ahead and stop here. And when we get our 25 families in, I'll show you how that worked out. Okay, so we're done. I went and it was taking a while, so I brought the immigration gauge down to 2, and everybody's in. So I can now, most recent pressure is 0. Enter 0, disable immigration entirely. We're not going to disable immigration entirely. We're going to put it back to 20, at least for a little while. And we do not have to mess with rapid immigration because I think there's enough people here. And one of the things I like to do is go around and see. I can move, can't I? If people have moved into some of the lots yet. And yeah, here's somebody. Who are they? This is Lasowska, Taryn. See, it shows you where people are coming in. And so if that gets a bit too busy for you, all that stuff up there, you can fix the stories to where it only shows what you want it to show. It won't tell you about the whole town. But that is part of story progression, telling you about stuff. I don't see that many people moving in to anything. I just see that one. But the town is massive. Okay, here's somebody out here. Their name is Hope. That's her last name. Okay, she read a book and then she went to work, so that's what that's about. Yeah, there's not that many families that we see, and the reason why is because we haven't met them yet. But if you go down here, come on. Well, I don't really want to come down here, but okay. She's at work, it doesn't matter. Come on. There we go. Alright. So, now she has a boss, which is that woman. And she has a couple of co-workers. Because we moved in 20 families. Here's your summary from story progression, and it tells you who got hired, who the immigrants are, relationships, friendships, things like that. It's skill increase. This is all part of your story progression as well, so you can see what's going on. Like I said, I went and I've left it on for a little bit. It will be bringing people in every cycle, every 2 cycles or something like that, for one family every 10 sim minutes. And when we finally reach what I think's good, then immigration will stop, and the town's gonna fill it by itself anyway. You can just aid it along. The whole point of this tutorial was to show you how to populate a world that is either completely empty or could use a few more sims, and I show you how to do that rapidly. and I showed you how to, you know, gradually do it. And that is what the tutorial was about. Did you get... she caught on fire again, guys. Not cool, not cool, not cool. Anyway. Now when we go back into the Not So Berry challenge, and we go to the bar or we go to the festival, there will actually be people to associate with, and that was the whole point of this. So I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, just comment down below. That doesn't mean I know the answer, but I left a link in the description about the page that I read from. That page, the wiki space is about to die here in July, so go get your mods if you want to get your mods. Yeah, so that was how to populate your town. I think my next tutorial will be like when you go to the bar, and we populated town, but then you go to a spot and there's no Sims, how you can command the neighborhood to come in and hang out in the bar with you. So that'll be coming up a little bit later. But until then, I'm CleoSim and I'm out. Bye!